more charges could still come. The obvious one is attempted murder.
20-year-old Brian Bourret behind bars for an alleged aggravated robbery on Rainey Street. His arrest affidavit now giving insight into the night he supposedly shot a man 6 times. It goes back to the early morning hours of July 26. Police would respond after reports of gunfire. They would find a man who had been shot multiple times. Days later, APD would release photos and videos of 2 suspects in the shooting, both believed to be in their teens. Police reports say on July 28th, a pedicab driver would get in contact with APD, saying he provided the suspects with a ride to Rainey Street on the night of the shooting. Suspect 1 supposedly paid for that ride through Cash App. Police would track the account and identify the suspect as Joshua Lara. On July 30th, Lara would call APD saying he wished to come in and provide a statement. It was there that Lara supposedly identified suspect 2 as his friend, Brian Bourret. He told police on the night of the shooting him and Bourret had taken a pedicab to Rainey Street. He said it was there that Bourret first met the victim. They supposedly spent some time together before going their separate ways. Later in the night, Lara and Bourret ran into the victim again, but this time is when the shooting allegedly took place. Lara said the victim shared his vape with both of them when suddenly Bourret grabbed the hat off the victim's head and ran down the street. Lara said the victim would chase after both of them and eventually punch Bourret in the face. That's when Lara told police he saw Bourret take out a pistol and shoot the victim multiple times. Video footage obtained by APD would back up part of Lara's claims. A camera that night would show Lara and Bourret sharing the victim's vape before Bourret supposedly came up behind him, grabbed his hat, and then ran off with his vape, which supposedly led to the victim being shot 6 times.
If it truly was a fight and he feared for his life, he has every right to stand his ground and use reasonable force. The question is firing 6 shots a reasonable amount of force?
Gene Anthus, a criminal defense attorney, says that he would likely see Bourret's actions as excessive force. But he says since Bourret and the victim supposedly hung out earlier in the night, the defense might try to prove the robbery could be just a misunderstanding.
If I was the defense attorney in this case, I would be trying to argue that this wasn't a theft. This was maybe 2 guys joshing around or something like that, stealing a baseball cap off somebody.
Bourret has since been charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, a potential strategic choice by prosecutors.
By charging it this way, it's clear that the state is already trying to lay that groundwork to undercut any kind of self-defense argument. By already alleging aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, they're not going to be able to argue self-defense.